Welcome to Linux Overdose, Episode 9. Today is May the 2nd, 2016. And today's episode is going to be talking about reading material. When I first installed Linux, of course I didn't know much about Linux. I went ahead to the forums, which was simply Memphis forums, and just start reading. And they had a small wiki document, so I read that, and I just got online trying to learn piece by piece. I think it was like 3 months before I even started buying reading material at the bookstores. And I usually go to half price bookstores or Goodwill or something. I never pay a full price for a book. I just find a used book that's interested and then start reading it. So I took some pictures of the books that I bought. So this is the first book that I bought, was Linux Complete, second edition. Of course, this is an older book now, so and it was mainly about Red Hat, which was fine because it's Linux. So I just went through the book, and I didn't really learn too much because I already knew it by reading everything online. So I think it was a little bit of networking in here that I might have learned from this book. But other than that, I pretty much knew everything. I just bought the book just to see if I miss anything in Linux. And but this was a good book, an educational book. It helped me make sure I did understand Linux. And like I said, I learned, I think, the networking part of it through this book here. And that was a retail price, and I think I bought this at Goodwill for, like a dollar or less than $1. So and then the next book I bought was Linux for Dummies, and it had networking also, and I think I learned something about more about administration, and I think it has some programs that I never tried out before. So I learned a few little things in here too. Like I said, I didn't buy these books till like 3 months into it. I just bought them just for a reference. I don't even open these books up no more, so I actually just need to take them back to Goodwill because I already absorbed everything that's in these books. So I went through this, and like I said, I learned a few things. And the next book was this one, which was good. It had a lot of pictures. This was a well-structured book. For a beginner, I would recommend this book. And it explains the file structure to the T. I mean, it was well written, well illustrated in the book to understand the Linux file system completely in this book. So this book I would recommend for any Linux new user. So this was a fun book to look at, read, and understand the structure of Linux filing. I think this book actually filled in some gaps I had about the filing system. So I did learn a few things in this book. And these other books I'm still not done with. I just bought these I think all this year or around December of last year, so I haven't went completely through the next books that we're going through. This one I decided to go back to the beginning, before Linux was even Linux, which it's a Unix related operating system, and this is the Unix shell. And everything in this book is, learning them, bash and shell and the commands, and so I'm learning more about some of the built-in tools that's in the bash shell that I didn't know how to use, or which I still don't. There's a few things I don't understand just yet of all the tools that are capable in this the bash shell. So this book is actually helping me. All old stuff that's still valuable of today. So this book is excellent to go back to the beginning and to understand the Linux shell, and all of these commands that are in here are still valid as today. So this is not a worthless book to get, even though it's old and stuff. And I am learning. I'm learning more about these here, AWK, SID, and grip. I'm learning more about those tools, which I never really use, and I'm starting to learn what each one is. So I still got this book, and I haven't completely absorbed everything in this book, so I'm still on it. And now the next books is I'm gonna get Linux certifications. So I bought books to learn what's going to be on the tests and stuff. And this is just about networking. It's kind of old, so but there's still valuable information in here. I went through this book, just scanned through. I haven't really read it. I took some notes too, so I did pick a few things out that I really want to learn and understand. And this book I just bought recently, and it's well written, but you would have to know Linux to understand this. But this is definitely not for a beginner, so you have to know something about Linux for this even be a valid book to buy. But I do recommend it, and I think this will help me get through the certifications. So here's another book that I would recommend. Right, those were my books. That's the only books I have and own that's Linux related at all. And then my next ones are magazines. And I subscribe to 6 of them. Some of them are PDF, so these are just the physical magazines. I only dug some of them out. Some are when I go to dentists and auto mechanics and a doctor's office, I bring my old issues of Linux and to read them while I'm waiting, but I actually leave them there. And what's the funny thing is, when I go revisit these offices again, I never gonna see my Linux magazines whatsoever. So someone takes them, which is fine. I mean, I might struck a nerve, and they got interested in Linux, and they took the magazine, which is fine. And I keep bringing my old magazines that I'm done with, or it's just too old, and they ain't much value in the magazine no more. So I don't throw none of my magazines. I take them and just distribute them to places, just leave them, and that's that. So and I learn a lot from these magazines. I would recommend anyone, if you're really interested in Linux and want to know more, buy at least one subscription of any Linux magazine. And all the ones you see here, I would recommend, of course, because I wouldn't subscribe them if I didn't get nothing out of these. And what's so cool about these magazines is you get DVDs of Linux distros in them, or attached to them. And That way you don't have to download them, and you still can test drive a Linux distro because it's live. So it's another way to get a Linux DVD if you don't want to buy it, through that that website showed you on distrowatch.com. And there's another way you can buy it, is buy a magazine that has a Linux Live version to it. So this is one of the magazines, which is Linux Pro magazine. Here's another one, video editing and stuff. And I went through all these magazines. So, and here's some more. It comes with OpenSUSE 13 point, and you see some of these are old, and eventually they'll be disappearing from here too. So and Linux User and Developer. Oh, this is an excellent magazine. A lot of hardware and stuff, but there's a lot of software in here too. So these are worth them. This is one of my favorite magazines. And there's another one which I'll show here pretty soon. And here's a Linux User and Developer, and this talks about a little bit about the setup of Raspberry Pi, which I have 2 of them. And here's another magazine I really like, is Linux Format. This one I really like, so I would recommend this magazine also. And here's another User and Developer with a Python 3, and I just dabble in Python, so I'm not real good with Python, but I have wrote a few minor things or edit minor Python stuff, and so I'm picking it up. I'm still don't know Python yet. Not comfortable saying that, and it might be a while before I am. And this about Ubuntu and other stuff, and this is another favorite which you've seen. And here's another one I like, is Linux Voice. So this is a good magazine to have also. Another Linux Voice, and talking about Raspberry Pi again, and for hackers, secrets. And here's a DVD that's attached to it with Fedora and Manjaro. So just take it off and put it in your computer and give it a spin. You install it too if you want to. Excuse me. Here's another one with just 2 kits, and it has 6 live bootable distros. So, like I say, I learned a lot from these magazines. Here's another format, Hackett, with another DVD attached to it. Here's another Voice, Use Linux Smarter, and Linux Voice with Richard Stallman on the cover. And I got this. This is just a extra edition to learn the Linux shell. So I picked this up, and I haven't went through all of these yet. There's 300 plus bash commands and best bash commands. So I got this just to learn more about the Linux shell. So this is a great magazine to have. And this is just Raspberry Pi made easy. So just learn a little bit more about Raspberry Pi. And like I said, these are other small chips. There's the Zero, which I don't have, which I might get. Here's that chip. So all kinds of small computers which are fun to do. And we're back at the beginning. And another magazine that I subscribe that I just get PDF only is Linux Journal. So that's another great magazine that I actually like. So, like I said, I would recommend um, learn a lot about Linux on the websites. Maybe pick one book just for references. Subscribe to a monthly Linux magazine of your choice, at least one. And it can be PDF or a physical one. I prefer physical because I like to leave them at the doctor's office and mechanic shop and dentist and any other shop that I go to. Even get my hair cut, take a magazine with me and just leave it there. So, and you can see I'm still using Voyager. And my next episode, which will be Ubuntu, beginning to end, how to find it, how to download it, how to install it, and then, and of course, how to run it. So far, a lot of bad reviews, not stable, problems with the store, problems to install stuff. So it's not a great release to install at this time. I would wait till 16.04.1 comes out before I even recommend it. Now Voyager, which is this one, they just released a stable version of 16.04. Their spin-off of the Ubuntu. Haven't went to reviews or anything, and I'm still going to keep this old version, this 14.0404, and I'm going to keep it for until I get bored, but at least another year before I switch my distro. And yes, I probably will go keep Voyager, and I will do a fresh install from scratch, because any file that's on here that's important to me, I put on my external, my pictures, my work, documents, anything, and I just start from scratch again, and just, it don't take me long. It takes me about 3 days. After a fresh install, it takes me about 3 days to get it the way I want it. And after the third day, after I install it and get all the codecs, my preferences, get the fonts right, the theme, how things open, make sure everything's stable. About 3 days tops. And I just take my time. There's no big hurry. I just get the things running that needs to be running, within, as soon as I install it, within the first hour or two, I got the basics going, and that's all I need. And then 3 days dabbing, here and there, and get it the way I want it. So I'll keep this. And yes, I got Debian GNOME on my second hard drive on this system, and the hard drive's mounted, which is right here. So I have access to anything that's on the GNOME version of on the other hard drive, and I can boot up into it. So I'll keep it handy. It's nice to have another operating system, and I still got the ones that are installed on the virtual box. I still got Linux Mint 17.3 and the same one I got on my hard drive on the virtual box. And I either will come back and put Ubuntu here, or I might just go to Debian, and I think I install VirtualBox and just start do Ubuntu on that, and just make sure everything still works on the Debian side, which it should. So I'll go ahead and sign off, and I think I already talked about my favorite Linux links, but I will come back and do an episode about my favorite reading links on online, and maybe some news and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and sign off. I think this is enough, and I'll come back with Ubuntu, and hopefully I have a better view than the other. Hope I don't have too much problems. If I do, then like I said, won't recommend it until 16.04.001. So don't rush to get Ubuntu if you haven't already. Alright, well, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.